Well, it may only be one game and one win so far, but the good times feel like they're returning to Deepdale. Chris says Fortress Deepdale is returning. Paul says, what an effing day. The atmosphere was brilliant and the performance was the same too. Come on, you Whites. And Martin says, we're going up. Yes, we are. This is our time. Premier League, here we come. After 65 years, we are going home. Now, we're not going to be getting carried away with ourselves on this channel, but we're delighted to have five very happy North Enders back with us. Welcome back to Where the Gentry Walk. 20 minutes of PNE chat, reviewing the good, the bad, and the indifferent of all things social media relating to Preston North End. We've got Etienne, Harvey, Adam, and Joey, of course, back from last week. And welcome back, of course, to James as well. Hope you're all very well. And yeah, the season has a buzz about it, Etienne, does it not?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to feel a lot more positive than recent weeks after that performance. It just seemed, everything started to come together in that one game, and you suddenly start to feel a bit more confident about our chances this season.
Coming up then in the next 20 minutes or so, we're going to talk about the Leicester game and getting the better of them. We've got Everson credit to give yet again. There's talk of giving McCann the armband, such as his heroics in that game. We'll get the panel's view on whether that should be something Hecky should be considering, and we're looking back at the team that aren't here anymore. Have the club missed the boat with any of them? Should any of them have stayed on a little bit longer? And have we got a fair price for those we've commanded a fee for? We're looking for 100 subscribers this particular month. If you can help us get there, that'll be absolutely amazing as we grow our little Preston community over here on Where the Gentry Walk. Right then, let's jump into the Leicester game, shall we? Harvey, what impressed you the most? An ex-Premier League side, and you took them to the sword.
I think it was excellent from minute one, to be honest. I think we played them off the park for 90 minutes. Obviously, you can look at the stats and see that Leicester have the majority of the ball, but that is what they like to do anyway. Obviously, they've got numbers of quality all over the squad, and on paper, many would probably argue that Leicester would just turn up and batter us, to be honest, but it was the complete opposite. I think many of fans, including myself, have said that it's definitely one of the best performances we've seen at Deepdale in a very long time. Obviously, the first home win since March, which is mental when you think about it. But overall, I just think we looked absolutely incredible, to be honest. To a man, I thought we were excellent defensively and going forward. Defended the wide threats in numbers, and it's everything to smile about, to be honest.
Absolutely. Let's get some tweets. And Mash says, probably, Joey, the best opening home performance I've seen from us. Straight into them, crowd knew it, and we got into them. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, you've seen a few opening home games. Was that one of the better ones for you, Joey?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, usually first home games can be a bit edgy, cagey, and we were just straight out of the blocks right from the off. And I think I'm not sure really Leicester knew how to cope with us. I think it does help that I don't think they had a particularly great day, and I think we definitely looked like we wanted it more, and I think that really came through. But to be honest with you, I think the scoreline probably flattered them, if anything. I mean, I think they didn't really deserve the equaliser when they got it, and it was just everything you want from a performance, especially at home. I mean, it really got the crowd going, and it's that sort of thing in it where the players in the crowd can help each other out, and if the players are playing like that, then the crowd's gonna get off the seat, and they're gonna get the atmosphere up. And even when they equalise, I think sometimes, the crowd can have the thing where they go, oh, God, here we go again. But I think the crowd actually just carried on and thought, actually, no, we're playing so well today that we can actually go and nick the winner. So, it was just a really good performance overall, really.
Brilliant. Okay, we've got to talk about the divine inspiration, Adam, that sealed all this. I mean, we credit ourselves a little bit. We called him out on here last week against QPR, and, you've got a bit of a gem here, haven't you?
I mean, honestly, when that ball came through, I was right next to it in the stadium. Obviously, I could see the best, and I genuinely couldn't understand how he made it from there, because it was such a tight angle. I didn't think he'd be able to squeeze it in, but he just showed his class by being able to get it in, and that early goal really helped us a lot.
Yeah. Just who else stood out for you, Adam?
I'd say Daniel Everson with that save on the line. Patson Daka, I think it was a shot from. it was, honestly, it was incredible. I think it's one of the best saves I've ever seen. Cat-like reflexes, and it just makes me so happy that I don't have to complain about my goalkeeper anymore.
I mean, it's going to get very boring, this podcast, if every week we talk about how brilliant Danny Leverson is. But, I mean, we spoke to our Leicester fans and were like, yeah, we don't know why, we've given really him away, really. He's always a good keeper for the bit parts he played for Leicester. James, welcome to our Gentry Walk. Hope you're good. You're on mute at the moment. Who stood up for you? Oh, we've lost you. We've lost your audio there. You might need to just jump out and come in again. Pal. Etienne, who for you stood out?
I thought the two wing backs, the Small and Valentin. It's crazy what you can achieve with that system when you sign players that can do the job required of him. I thought Small was incredible. I had some doubts considering that he'd never played at this level before. It's a great signing, not denying that, but yeah, he proved me wrong. And Valentin as well. A few complaints about the fact that he was on a free and he was a bit par player at Sheffield Wednesday, but he came in, got an assist within 10 minutes. Yeah, just direct, fantastic.
Yeah, he hasn't really got much credit, has he, really, for that the ball he played into for Devine there. Such a great cross. Right then, let's focus on, let's see if we get James back. James, can you hear us now? Oh, no, we've still got audio problems. We'll try it again in a second. Right then, Harvey, Captain McCann. I mean, some stat. No one's made more tackles than Ali McCann so far in the Championship, 12 so far. Mike says, McCann was relentless. I thought there were so many good performances, it wouldn't be fair to pick out one, but Ali would be in the reckoning. We won't face many quicker attacking sides, but even with some old-timers in the side, we kept pace with them. Small and Devine were awesome, and obviously, lots of calls that McCann is the captain that we need. Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely. I think he would have been my first choice captain at the start of the season. I just think, like that tweet says, I think for me he was just absolutely everywhere. In obviously what is a very, very, very good Leicester midfield. You've got the likes of like Harry Winks, Samara, Chowdhury when he comes on. They're very high level Championship players. And I think McCann was just absolutely impeccable. I think he put his body through absolutely everything. He was everywhere. And obviously, even when he got the cut on his head, he's bandaged up and he's still going. He's just never stopped running. And I think that kind of mentality and that a player who has that amount of energy to just run for 90 minutes and never stop going deserves to be captain, in my opinion.
Okay. Joey, do you agree?
I would have said that before I start season, but I just feel like at this point we've just come from a great performance, great winner, and I think there's such a good team spirit at the moment. I think if you try and switch it now, I think it would probably send the wrong message. I think, especially as Whiteman actually had a good game. I know that's not been quite regular to say, but I think, whilst he's had a good game and as I say, I think because we've now into the start of the season, I think we just wait maybe until Whiteman's performances drop again, which probably is quite inevitable, but hopefully he's on the up again because there is a player in him. Don't get me wrong. So at the moment, yes, probably not, but definitely when time does come, then McCann is definitely placed for the captaincy armband.
Cheers for that, Joey. James, we think we've got you finally back now. Impressions from the game?
Again, I thought we were brilliant, like the guys said. I mean, I think it's probably as close to a Paul Heckingbottom performance as we've given since he arrived. We look like we could create chances and score all the time, which is, as obviously the guys will know, it's just been lacking for about 18 months now. For once, I came off Deepdale and I wasn't bored.
Okay. And further news today, Etienne. I don't know how much you know about Shay Reid, but the club have announced that you've got a youngster who's going to be joining the academy. He did a trial, I think, in the summer there. His dad is all over Twitter as well, so he's a really decent bloke as well. He's going to be followed by a 1-year professional deal. Yeah. The future planning of the club is also looking good, isn't it?
It's exactly the kind of signing we've been screaming for the last 3 or 4 years. It's smart, it's future planning. I like the fact that we have offered him a professional deal, so he's locked in. He's not having to worry about, will I get released at the end of my scholarship? He's come here. He's obviously got high ambitions, and we've already offered him that deal. So we're not going to expect to see him in the squad for a year, maybe 2, but if he can develop into the full player that he has the potential to be, it's going to be a fantastic deal.
Okay, brilliant. Right, let's talk about Ipswich next then, shall we, Adam? Many people are predicting they will be the runaway winners of this league. So this is going to be a different kind of test on Saturday?
Well, I definitely think that considering how we played against Leicester, we can try and upset them. I mean, at home as well, our form is clearly the best. It's not good away at all. So I think if we use the home form, use the momentum that we taken from the Leicester game, we can try and get a decent result out of this game, because now I kind of believe that we can take a point from any game.
Yeah. Any changes for you needed, Harvey?
I don't think so. I think, obviously, if you look at the Leicester game, it's a side with, like I've already said, good quality players and obviously a lot of money, and Ipswich will be very similar to that. I think, like Adam said, our home form is showing to be really good, and I think the last two fixtures are definitely something you can build momentum on. And obviously, as good as an Ipswich side look, I think, like Heckingbottom said in the interview, it doesn't really matter if teams have got money. You've just got to have that mentality to just go and beat them. And I think if you set up right and in that mindset, and looking back at the Leicester game, you can definitely go and do that.
Brilliant. Right, thanks so much. Great win. I mean, look, people are saying let's not get carried away. Let's get carried away. I mean, how many times have we had just such poor starts to the season, and it's flattered to deceived. I mean, I think you were top of the league, weren't you, for 3 months a couple of years ago. But apart from that, it's been flat. So yeah, we are going to get carried away a little bit. Over the course of the next couple of weeks, then we were looking at the transfer window, and we're going to start now by looking at the people who have exited the club and asking these guys for their opinions on whether the club have dropped the ball here on any of them. There's quite a long list. We're not going to go through all of them. But Joey, just a final comment, please, on Emil Rees. Obviously, Bristol City ended up. Did you see that as a bit of a sideways move for him? Were you surprised it? No disrespect to Bristol City, but that he didn't end up at a higher kind of octane club.
Yeah, I mean, I think he wanted to. I think he wanted to move abroad, probably the Bundesliga, I think was mentioned. So he's probably surprised himself that he's probably had to settle for that. But I think it was a good move for us both, really. I think he sort of became a bit stale. I think, we will obviously miss his goals, but I think I think when you look at like the team on Saturday, you see players who really want to play for the shirt. I'm not saying he didn't, but I think he just gave that sort of aura around, which I just don't think really helped us sometimes. He didn't have really much of a personality either. So I think it was the most disappointing thing for me was that we literally let him go for nothing, especially to a championship rival. I think, when there was talk of him moving to Middlesbrough years ago for 7 million, I think that's what's really disappointing, because I'm not actually bothered that he left, but I'm just bothered that he left for nothing, because we've got no money now to reinvest. And we're desperate in terms of needing a forward now, because you look at Osmites and Smith both playing 90 minutes again. I think we desperately need a player in for Ipswich, and it would have been good to have a bit of money to reinvest in that. But yeah, fair play to him. I think he'll do well there, but it's probably a good move for us both, I think.
I've got to bring Etienne and Harvey both in on this conversation before we close down, talking about Rees forevermore. Obviously, you two have been, it's fair to say, critical of him at times, but can you wish him well?
Yeah. I still think he's got some qualities that will make him on his day a top championship striker. He's got one of the when he hits that ball perfectly, he's got one of the best strikes I've ever seen from a striker, especially coming from the right hand side. But again, his attitude with us just stunk in the final year. He looked like he didn't want to be here. Yeah, he didn't get the Bundesliga move that he wanted, but he's got to move. He's got to deal with that, and I'm sure he will score goals for Bristol City. So, good luck to him. Okay.
Let's talk Freddie Woodman then, please. Adam, you already mentioned him before. Gosh, it was Man United were interested, I think, towards the end of the season, if not mistaken, and he's gone to Liverpool. We're not going to see him starting at Anfield anytime soon, I don't think, are we? But what's your favourite Woodman memory?
I mean, the first season was great, to be honest. He did perform really well, but after that, it just started to go down and down. And then in the third season, I think everyone just grew impatient with him, and I feel like we lost a lot of points due to him. Obviously, good luck to him. I feel like he's just taking a paycheck at Liverpool, but there's not much to talk about, really.
Yeah. Okay, let's go on to Ryan Ledson next, and James, please.
I think we're all a little bit gutted to see him go, but did I think he'd ever take us to a higher level? No. He was just a brilliant club servant. He loved the club, still does love the club. And I think Huddersfield have got themselves one hell of a midfielder there for League One level. I mean, it shows just how influential he is that he's captain there already.
Yeah. I mean, Harvey, where do you stand on this one? I don't know, fans were divided on it. He's 27. He's in the twilight of his career in terms of age, but could he have done another year or two with you?
Yeah, it was a bit of a tricky one, to be honest. I think towards the latter end of his tenure, I think he was definitely starting to become a bit more like of a player of his own, kind of, if that makes sense. I think obviously he was a bit more consistent in the side, and I think a bit more consistency in that side came with more consistent performances. I think I do agree with James a bit. I think he was definitely a passionate player. Loved the club. He was one of them that's a really solid midfielder all round. I would have personally given him another year just based off that last season. However, I do agree with the side of fans that say it was probably his time to go, to be honest, because we needed new bodies into the team, and it's just one of them. But I really hope he does really well at Huddersfield.
Okay. And then the rest of the list here: Etienne and Joey, Keane Best, Keane Taylor, Shed Evans, Jack Watmore, Leighton Stewart, Kamara, Patrick Bauer. Any of those you would have desperately wanted to keep?
Not particularly for me. Yeah. I think Watmore's a good signing for Huddersfield in League One, but yeah, I think the rest of them, yeah, the time had come at Preston. I think it's a shame with Keane Best because he did show a bit of spark when he first started for us in a great run a couple of seasons back, but I think his attitude's been a problem, and he might be able to get it back at Chelsea. You never know, but yeah, at the moment, I was happy for him to go as well.
Etienne, do you think the club have done well in shifting some of the? I don't like the phrase deadwood, but yeah, for lack of a better term, deadwood.
Well, I can't really praise the club for it because a lot of them have been contract expiry. So it's kind of a case of, best case scenario, we get a fee from. But yeah, we could have, Ledson and Watmo, you could make arguments that they should still be at the club. But at the end of the day, we've let them go. We've understood that we needed to move on, upgrade the squad in certain areas, let some of these, long tenure players go. I wish them all luck. I don't really have any despise towards any of them, but you can't really praise the club for it.
Okay. Right then, on to the most controversial topic then of this week's episode, the home kit, and what our current views on it are. Next week we'll do the away kit, and then stand by for in 2 weeks' time we'll do that god-awful third kit. Right, let's have a look at it then, and let's have a look at it side to side with a Preston classic as to, in my view, what a Preston North End shirt should look like. Right. Whose button can I press here first? Let's go, Joey. I can trust your judgment here. Do you like this season's home shirt?
No, not really. I mean, it's. I think it's the font. The font color. That's what I'm really not keen on. I think if it was blue, the font, the spot bros, I think it might not look as bad. But yeah, I mean, I do miss a collar, and it's very basic. It's a classic Castor. Not really sold on it, but it's yeah. We've had some worse ones, I suppose. That's probably the best compliment I can give it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a Leicester fan who tweeted at the weekend, I can't believe we've lost to a team that have Spud Bros as a sponsor. It's kicked off a whole trail of replies. Go on, Harvey. You're waiting to. I know you're itching to have your say on this. You love it, I bet.
I love kits, but this one is it's a bit of an eyesore. But I'm exactly the same as Joey. I understand that obviously their logo is red. But I cannot help but just feel as if it was blue, it would just suit the kit so much more. Obviously matching line with the shorts, etc. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, if you're going to use a plain white shirt, there's not exactly much you can do with it. Obviously, it's all right. It's nothing really special. But yeah, I just wish they could like I just don't understand if you can change the colours for the away and the third, then I feel like you could have just altered it a little bit to blue to make it a bit less of an eyesore.
Yeah, I mean, we tweeted out, Adam, in the summer. I can't believe Preston have got a bit of tangerine on the front of their kit this year, and oh my god, did that upset some people? But it does photograph in some pictures orange. Sorry, but it does. Adam, your view on it?
I mean, I don't think I take the orange part too seriously, but the kit in general, we never really have high expectations for these plain white kits, so I'm not really going to complain about it. I think the sponsor in general, it does actually bring a lot of traction to the club, so that's one positive thing about it.
Well, explain that to me. I'm going to pick you up on that. Does it? Because all I've seen is people laughing at you.
I mean, it's engagement, isn't it? All engagement. Even if they are laughing at us, it brings eyes onto the club, so okay. Whatever helps. All
right, Etienne, tell us the Spud Bros story for those of us that, don't have the time.
Like, they're two local lads who have obviously started. I think they took over their father's tram and developed it into basically almost an international sensation on TikTok. Short form content, simply selling potatoes, and for them to actually get to sponsor their local team, the team they've supported all their life, must be massive for them. And it works well for us because we just never seem to get any sort of like national attention, and it has brought eyes to the club. It's brought the spotlight. When we announced it, it was all over the news. So like, I'm not going to complain at the deal. I think it's good publicity for the brothers, and I know they've got some big things lined up for the club. So it's exciting.
Okay. Finally, James.
I mean, on one hand, I think it's brilliant because it winds the other teams up when they think they've been beaten by the Spud Army, and you can plaster it all over X. On the other hand, it's so close to a Blackpool colour. I just don't like it. I actually will disagree with you. I think the third kit is the best out of the three.
Ooh, okay.
But
wow.
the home kit, no.
I can feel people in the comments, James, already going mad here. And you mentioned the B word as well on this channel, which is, a sin in itself. Right then, let us know what you think in the comments. I hate it. I can't see red on it. Red of a away kit is fine for Preston, but a Preston home kit does not have red, orange, tangerine, whatever you want to call it on it. Just farcical. But good up the Spud Bros, and we'll march on with the Spud Army throughout the rest of the season. Right, next week then we'll look at the away kit. We'll also look at the incomings that we've had so far and get the panel's view on that. We'll also obviously be chatting about the Ipswich game and looking ahead to the final game before the international break, which is just crazy. So join us for that. Do drop us a quick subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you very much for supporting us on our little mission to grow this. We're Gentry Walk into something massive, and we appreciate you being part of our little community. Have a great week. Enjoy the Ipswich game.